The year was 2387. Deep in the outer veil, a stretch of space so remote that even the Galactic Confederation's long-range sensors barely scratched its edges, 3 Vreth warships glided through the dark like predators circling wounded prey. Commander Vale Koth, a 7-foot reptilian officer with silver-plated scales and 4 cold eyes, studied his tactical display. Ahead of his fleet sat a single vessel. Damaged. Drifting. Venting plasma from a ruptured engine core. Species identification, he ordered. His sensor officer hissed quietly. Unknown, Commander. Registry matches no Confederation database. Hull design is primitive. Iron-carbon composite. Minimal shielding. Vale Koth clicked his claws together. Primitive. That meant easy. That meant profitable. Open a capture formation. Begin towing protocols. The Vreth fleet moved into position. Magnetic tow cables were prepared. Boarding parties were suited up, 40 soldiers, armed with plasma cutters and shock rods, ready to crack the ship open like an egg. Then the damaged vessel did something unexpected. It powered up. Not fully. Not explosively. Just, steadily. Like something waking from a long sleep, remembering what it was. Commander, the sensor officer said slowly, they are transmitting. Vale Koth narrowed all 4 eyes. A distress call? No, sir. A pause. An identification signal. The transmission came through on the universal frequency, the one every spacefaring civilization used. The voice that spoke was calm. Almost bored. Male. Deep. This is the UES Resolute *, United Earth Navy, registration November 7 Alpha. We have detected your approach and your weapons lock. You are hereby advised, disengage tow protocols. Stand down boarding parties. This vessel is the property of the United States of America, Earth, Sol System. We are human. We are armed. You have 60 seconds to comply. Asterisk. Silence filled the Vreth bridge. Vale Koth stared at his officers. His officers stared back. Human, he repeated. Nobody in the room had ever met one. But everyone in the outer veil had heard of them. There was a reason the Galactic Confederation had never formally contacted Earth. The intelligence archives described humans as a class for emergent species, young, chaotic, biologically fragile, and extraordinarily dangerous when cornered. They had been observed for roughly 3 centuries. In that time, they had fought 6 major wars amongst themselves, survived 2 extinction-level events through sheer stubbornness, and, most disturbingly, continued advancing through every catastrophe. They did not ask for help. They did not retreat. They simply adapted. The archives contained one particular footnote that senior Confederation diplomats quietly passed among themselves. Do not engage humanity in a war of attrition. They are the only known species that improves under pressure. Vale Koth had read that footnote once. He hadn't taken it seriously. He was beginning to reconsider. Captain James Reeves sat in the dim command chair of the Resolute, watching 3 alien warships on his screen. His uniform was torn at the shoulder. Dried blood ran along his jaw from a gash he hadn't had time to bandage. Around him, 11 surviving crew members worked silently, rerouting power, patching hull breaches, doing the impossible with nothing. Weapons status, Reeves said quietly. Lieutenant Marcus Webb looked up from his console. Rail cannons 1 through 4, online. Missile tubes A and B, loaded. Point defense grid, 40% capacity. Enough? Webb allowed himself the smallest grin. Enough to ruin their day, sir. Reeves nodded once. He looked at the timer on his screen. 41 seconds. He didn't flinch. He didn't pray. He simply watched the clock the way a man watches a door he knows is about to open, ready for whatever walked through it. On the Vreth flagship, Velkoth's second-in-command, Sub-Commander Drea, stepped forward. "Commander, their weapons are active. Primitive, yes, but at this range, a rail cannon volley could breach our forward hull. Our shields are calibrated for energy weapons, not kinetic." She paused. They knew that. They knew before they even powered up. The timer on the human transmission expired. Nothing happened. Then the Resolute simply turned, slowly, deliberately, until its full weapons array faced the Vreth fleet dead-on. No aggression. No firing. Just a statement, made in iron and silence. "Here I am. I see you. Your move." Velkoth stared for a long moment. Then he exhaled through his scales and leaned back. "Disengage tow cables," he said quietly. "All ships, fall back to minimum sensor range." Drea blinked. "Commander?" "They are human," Velkoth said simply. "And they are armed." He turned back to the viewport. "I have no interest in learning what comes next." As the 3 Vreth warships retreated into the black, Captain Reeves watched them go. Webb exhaled loudly beside him. "Think they'll come back?" Reeves considered the question seriously, the way he considered every question. "Eventually," he said. "They always do." He stood up slowly, straightened his torn uniform, and turned to face his exhausted crew. "All right. Let's fix our ship." And they did. Because that is what humans do. They bleed. They endure. They rebuild. And they never, not once, stop being dangerous.